Thank you for inviting me to be here for this seminar. And I can say that it is a pleasure for me to come back to this wonderful university and to come back to Delft, where I'm happy to have the chance to admire again some of its beautiful ceramics and the pleasure of being in the birthplace of Johannes Vermeer, one of the most renowned Dutch painters of Baroque art. For art lovers like myself, it's a double pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. So, well, just some words about some things relating to policy aspects, with sustainable lifestyles. That is the object of this seminar, and relating also with a very relevant event that happened last December in Paris, the Framework Convention on Climate Change. The Paris Agreement, adopted within this context of the United Nations last December 12th, lists the action needed for climate change mitigation and recognizes the relevance of 4 dimensions. The role of education is the first one, which includes awareness raising and the promotion of citizen participation with public access to the information and cooperation at all levels. The commitment both of all levels of government and diverse societal actors in the adoption of efficient responses for promoting economic growth and sustainable development. Third, it underlines the need to adopt sustainable lifestyles as well as sustainable consumption and production patterns. And fourth, and finally, it stresses the importance of supporting technological development that contributes to the acceleration of innovation. In spite of the steps already taken as part of the institutional response to this challenge of sustainability, such as promoting environmental education programs, awareness-raising campaigns, and the provision of ever more complex information resources that could support behavioral decision-making, we can ask, is the citizenship coping with environmental challenges by adopting more sustainable lifestyles? What are the necessary changes in the design of our economic models, and what would be the impact of such changes in our lives for a sufficiently fast-paced transition to sustainability? Are we, as policymakers and as society, actually creating effective mechanisms for participation and cooperation? Experts inform that there is an inconsistency between human behavior towards the environment and the increasing ecological awareness and generalized acknowledgement on the anthropogenic causes of climate change. The reasons for this gap are not clear, and transitions to sustainable lifestyles requires changes in our daily life, as well as an analysis of current economic models. Although the adoption of truly sustainable lifestyles is not yet done at a large scale, a good number of initiatives are creating the space for such choices, as we can see in the GLAMURS project. They are sustainable initiatives or social innovation initiatives that are frontrunners in these efforts, and the options they propose are more advanced than those proposed by governments, many times absent. They possess in-depth local knowledge about problems and promote the involvement of citizens in the response to climate change, as well as alternative economic models in domains such as mobility, food, construction, use of energy, or the reduction and rationalization of consumption, to mention just a few. From the policy side, a number of governmental levels with responsibility in the stimulation and support of research and technological innovation have taken some steps too, through the implementation of specific research and innovation programs that allow to connect sustainable lifestyles and economic models. It is the case of the European Commission and its strategy for innovation in sustainable lifestyles and green economy. Precisely, one of the key projects of this strategy is the GLAMURS project on green lifestyles, alternative models, and upscaling regional sustainability, which is about to start its 4th consortium meeting here at the University of Delft. And it groups 11 European universities and research institutes with a stronger interdisciplinary approach and prominence of the social sciences. An analysis of different initiatives of sustainable lifestyles in Europe show us that even when there is not a collective response in coping with climate change, there is evidence that it is possible to go towards a more sustainable economy, although the challenge of changing behaviors and real lifestyles needs to undergo change in deep-seated conceptions about what success, self-realization and consumption mean. Large-scale diffusion of sustainable lifestyles requires alternative economic models that rely on the understanding of complex interactions among psychological, economic, social, and technological factors promoting or constraining the adoption of sustainable lifestyles. The GLAMURS project has set such an objective for itself. In our current conception of a good life, we identified consumption with living well and being happy, and our economic model is based on this conception. However, citizens are increasingly aware that our ways of life are unsustainable, not only from an environmental perspective, but also because we feel increasingly estranged from each other, lonely and lacking meaning in our lives. Research results are showing that citizens in affluent countries are experiencing an increasing sense of dissatisfaction with current consumerist lifestyles and the accelerated rhythm of the modern life. The GLAMURS project tries to develop and evaluate comprehensive models of lifestyle change, also through the design and testing of a number of pathways of transition towards a greener and more sustainable economy. In parallel with the advances we are able to make in terms of eco-efficiency, which will reduce our ecological footprint through interventions on the production side, absolute reductions in our general levels of consumption are also necessary, which requires changes in our conceptions of well-being. Citizens demand more time to participate in community activities, are interested in more collaboration and sharing, and consider urban gardens to be both a source of fresh food as well as a place to establish meaningful community relationships. The experience of a more accelerated pace of everyday life is attributed to the increasing demands on time from both the domains of work and leisure, with the border between the two increasingly blurring. Understanding those lifestyle changes that would both reduce our environmental impact and at the same time increase our well-being is a key task of researchers and policymakers alike. Translating research into policy is not an easy process. The university must reinforce the capacity of its researchers to interact with politicians, with an emphasis on the impact of their research. On their part, politicians have demonstrated more preference for technological solutions or for importing initiatives from other places that do not always fit well with the local context of application. Robust, context-sensitive policy requires the adoption of a knowledge co-production approach in which the continuous construction of ideas, values, and comprehensive policies and strategies improve the knowledge of the problem and the innovative response to the challenge of sustainability. So here we are. I'm sure this seminar will be fruitful and also enhance your interest in research policy collaborations to sustainability. Thank you very much.